Let's begin with Madeline Rivera live from Washington with the latest on when we can expect this shutdown to officially end. Now, President Trump promising a tariff dividend to all Americans. Quote, people that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world with almost no inflation and a record stock market price. 401ks are highest ever. We are taking in trillions of dollars and will soon begin paying down our enormous debt, $37 trillion. Record investment in the U.S., plants and factories going up all over the place. Here's the key part, Jason, a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. Jason, how realistic is this?
Let me know what you guys think about this. Are we going to be getting this $2,000 from the government? Let me know what you guys think about that. Is that even a good idea? Let me know in the comments below.
Maddie, good morning.
Good morning, Todd. Well, the vote the Senate took overnight is the first step in a series of procedural maneuvers. And of course, the House will have to vote on the package, too. So it will take a few more days before the government reopens. But Sunday's vote was the first clear sign that a bipartisan deal had been reached after a roughly 40-day stalemate. The Senate voted 60-40 to back a revamped GOP funding bill that would keep the government open until the end of January. 8 Democrats joined Republicans to pass the bill, including Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin, Senators Tim Kaine, Catherine Cortez Masto, and Jackie Rosen, among others.
This is the beginning to show and fight for Americans across the country. Let me just say this. With the government open, we can focus on passing a full bipartisan budget for 2026.
I understand that not all of my Democratic colleagues are satisfied with this.
Fighting for the American people should be their #1 objective.
Agreement. But waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome. So let me be clear. No one in the Senate chamber wants to extend the ACA tax credits more than I do.
I joined this group to make sure that we could get important protections for federal employees. And what we have in this bill is the restoration of all the furloughed employees and a guarantee of their back pay.
So despite them touting what they did get, these Dems are facing criticism from their party because the package does not include a deal on Obamacare subsidies. It only includes a guarantee on a vote for the tax credits, far from what progressives and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer had pushed for.
Tonight, 8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to allow them to go forward on this continuing resolution. And to my mind, this was a very, very bad vote. We got a lot of work to do, but to be honest with you, tonight was not a good night.
Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna is already targeting Schumer, saying Senator Schumer is no longer effective and should be replaced. If you can't lead the fight to stop health care premiums from skyrocketing for Americans, what will you fight for? Moving forward, senators need to reach a time agreement before holding a final vote on the package. Then it will only need a simple majority to pass the upper chamber. Todd.
Miles to go before we sleep. Maddie, thank you. With that, let us bring in former advisor to Donald Trump, Jason Miller. And Jason, you heard in Maddie's report the Democrats touting all of the things that they got. But to me, they didn't really get anything. All they got was a promise to hold a vote on Obamacare subsidies. So, Jason, what was the point of all this?
Well, exactly. There was no point. This entire shutdown was unnecessary. It was unneeded. And the only reason why it happened is because Senator Chuck Schumer and other Senate Democrats are scared to death of the extremist wing of their party, the AOCs, and they're worried they're going to get primary challenges. I really think that there's going to be a reckoning here, both from Americans, travelers who were stranded at airports or had flights canceled, members of the military who had to stand in line for food banks because they didn't have money coming in because of what the Senate Democrats did. And also, I think there'll be a reckoning, as we saw from Ro Khanna saying this about Senator Schumer, from the extremist left within the Democrat base saying, Chuck Schumer, why did you cave? So this was completely unnecessary. It was unneeded all along. Senator John Thune said, just simply pass the continuing resolution, open government, then we could talk about health care. But instead, Chuck Schumer decided to hold everybody hostage.
Again, the exact same continuing resolution that everybody voted for back in March. Nothing changed except for the primaries from the left that you just mentioned. For the rest of this week, Senate Democrats can really do this the easy way, or they can do this the hard way. They can fast track the process to get this to the House quickly, or they can force it to just drag on all week long. Which path do you think the Democrats in the Senate will choose?
I think even though many of the Senate Democrats will echo the thoughts of Bernie Sanders saying that they didn't like this vote, I think the reality is that the vast majority, the biggest group of Senate Democrats are glad that some of their colleagues caved because this is what everybody wanted. There was no one at home who was saying, Senators, thank you for keeping the government shut down. This was massive chaos. We saw what it did to the markets. We saw from Secretary Bessent saying the impact that this has had on the economy. And Americans want to get going with life. And we don't.
And he's speaking on actual Democrats. He's not speaking about the radicals that are really the ones that are really holding the government shut down and preventing a lot of people from getting paid. I mean, it's very sickening, and I'm glad they're trying. There's some Democrats that are trying to push it forward.
Held up and held hostage by nonsense political games.
All right, I'm going to put this in the category of good news, even though obviously we didn't need to get here this way. This other thing could really be good news. Let's get to this now. President Trump promising a tariff dividend to all Americans. Quote, people that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world with almost no inflation and a record stock market price. 401ks are highest ever. We are taking in trillions of dollars and will soon begin paying down our enormous debt, $37 trillion. Record investment in the U.S., plants and factories going up all over the place. Here's the key part, Jason, a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. Jason, how realistic is this? Could our bank accounts actually see a boost?
So I love this idea from President Trump, and this is the way that he always looks outside of the political norms and says he can deliver for the American people. We're still digging our way out of the hole that Joe Biden left us, 4 years of absolute financial chaos. And we're seeing what President Trump is doing with the big, beautiful bill, and no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. But many Americans are still struggling to get back on foot after what they saw from Joe Biden. And so I think this idea to take $2,000 per person with the exception of the higher wage earners and say, let's give Americans a little bit of a boost here, let them get some of that credit that's coming in from the tariffs, I think would be a great shot in the arm. It'll dovetail right with what President Trump is doing by bringing down gas costs and other costs and keeping inflation low. So I love it. I hope they do it.
I hope they can do it, but also pay down the $37 trillion in debt that you heard the president mention there. If they can do both, I think that is a win-win, but we will see. Jason Miller, thank you, sir, for getting up with us on a Monday.
And listen, the majority of people that don't even watch the news or know even what's going on with the government shutdown, I mean, they're the ones that are just seeing quick headlines of, oh, government shutdown, you're not getting paid. A lot of people out there are asking questions, and a lot of people out there are also that don't even know what's going on are resorting to stealing, you know, trying to survive, get food when their EBTs are shut down, their SNAP benefits are not in effect. I mean, people are doing some crazy things out there. I'm hoping people out there can understand what the Democrats have just done these past, 40-something days. And they're the ones to blame for everything that's going on at this moment in time. You guys know when I call it out, if it's the Republicans as well, it's both sides. But in this particular situation, it's definitely the Democrats. And I should be clarifying, it's the radical Democrats, not just the ones that are actually trying to come to the middle with Republicans. It's the radicals. Let me know what you guys think about this. Are we going to be getting this $2,000 from the government? Let me know what you guys think about that. Is that even a good idea? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, everybody. This one's for Charlie.